Hello, how are you today? This is Jilly Bling, and today's project is using the bundle Splendid Thoughts. And it's a really nice set. It's in the July through December mini catalog, and it's a bundle. And it's an abstract set. So I love it, but I have a hard time with abstract. But I'm trying to embrace it. So Splendid Thoughts and the dies, and just some additional words, and artistically inked primarily for the words in it, and then also this abstract image, which I'm going to put on the little pot. So here is the project. This is new ribbon. Isn't that pretty? And I don't want it to glare. Yeah. So this paper, I loved it. I loved it the minute I saw it, but it's just really, really shiny. And every time I went to use it, it's like, that's too shiny. I need just a little bit. And I saw this, oh, I should have wrote it down, from Lisa Curio. I think that's how you say her name. But she made a card somewhat like this one here, using the paper we're going to use today, and stamped image, cut out, copper embossing powder, which is what we got going there. But then, like I mentioned, I have a hard time with abstract, so I had to color one. So stamping it in Memento Black and then coloring it, that's more my thing. I guess because it's more controlled. But isn't that pretty? And then down on the pot is where I used the artistically inked big abstract stamp, just for a little bit of texture on the pot. But I love this one. And then, okay, maybe this one is my favorite. And again, maybe because it's colored rather than abstract. And then this one I used an embossing folder on that. No words on the inside, so you can write whatever you want on the outside. Okay, so that is today's project, the same but different. So let's keep these nearby. And over here, not that much stuff. This is my embossing buddy. I always forget to use it. Pieces and paper. So we're going to use this print. And let me tell you, cutting these thin strips, 1/2 inch, and the white is 5/8 of an inch by 8, or 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. That's 2 1/8 by 5 1/8. The designer paper is 2 by 5. But cutting narrow pieces, I'll be first to tell you, I'm not that good at it. So if you're doing this project, if you find pieces that aren't perfectly cut, just choose a different one. And if you're like, oh my gosh, look at all these pretty papers, does this one go with that? If you flip it over, that's a true sign these go together. How's that look? Oh, I like the sparkly. I like sparkly. But I'll put all the paper cut sizes on my blog. And my blog is jillybling.com. So just a little white border makes it stand out perfectly on the sandpaper. In this project I have half of them on sandpaper and the other half on granite gray paper. So if you like the warmer tones, sand is good for you. If you like the cooler tones, the granite. Let's see, if I put them like this, you could probably tell the difference a little bit better. So whatever you like, and all the papers go with all the other papers. So this one I want to do this direction, and I'm thinking like that. And I have an idea for the layout. Here, don't tell anyone. I took a picture of it just because I didn't want to forget. Okay, don't go to sleep now. So I have my layout idea. It's not for sure yet. And it's doing the stamping on it. So once again, trying to embrace that love of abstract. I like light abstract. This one, challenge. Okay, isn't that just pretty? Okay, so that's on there. So let's work on the pot. Let's do that. So I want to emboss in copper. So of course, I'm going to use my embossing buddy. I'm remembering. And Versamark. And there's great words in here. And these here fit perfectly in this little pot. I think that's what that thing is. When I looked in the catalog, it's pictured upside down. So maybe there's a different purpose for it that Stampin' Up! Knows, and I just don't know. But I like it as a pot. So it could stay a pot. So a little bit of copper embossing powder. And I'll emboss the inside in just a minute. Okay, that looks good. I had to get it out of the way. There's been a few times where I've taken my heat tool, started heating it, and I blew my embossing powder everywhere. Okay, just like that. Then dies, here's the dies. So this one is for the pot. Look how perfectly that fits. Isn't that fun? And then there are these two for the plants. So there's this plant and that plant. And then this one, there's a whole bunch of, oh, did I show you the dies? There's a whole bunch of random little shrubbery pieces in here that you could do it in whatever color. You could do them in a foil, but they're just a thin little outline, like this right here. So look at all these other shapes. I mean, you can have lots of greenery or whitery or whatever you like going on. And one for the bee. There's a bee in this set. Bees are cute. And it cuts out the bee. Okay, so I'm going to cut a few of these just in plain white. And this just provides the outline. So look at that. Isn't that nice and delicate? And then these, we have to emboss them first. So that's on here. And I'm not quite sure what the plan is. I know I have that picture over there, but I don't really have a definite plan yet. So I'm going to do this one. And the thing about embossing the clear embossing powder on white paper is you can't see it. Therefore, it's kind of a laborious process. Ink it up in Versamark, put the powder on, while the heat tool is still hot. And then repeat it, and repeat it, and then cut it, and I got it done. Do you notice I was out on a limb? I left this open. Living dangerous today. Okay. So let's see, what do I have? I have 2 of this one, and 2 of this kind of bubbly leaf looking thing. Oh, let me cut this out. Okay, we've got pieces going on here. So the plan, You know how on my little phone here I have a plan. It is that this is going to go here. These are going to, I'm going to stick that on because I know that definitely goes there. And I'm going to be somewhat sparse on dimensionals because I have to stick those stems into this pot. And I don't want to run into trouble. So that can go right in the middle, right here. And then these, oh, you know, well, let me back up a few. The plan is to stamp them. So here's a stamp. This one stamps this. This background stamps this one. Kind of like them white, but I'm going to try it. Let's just see how it goes. Because this is sand, I'm going to stamp in sand. And before I stamp it, keep in mind this is abstract. You're like, okay, whatever, just stamp it. But wait till I show you the inside. Oh, I don't think I did that very good. See, it's very abstract. So look at this. This doesn't exactly fill in the outline. It's abstract. It's a little challenging. This one colored with markers. That one's markers. I don't know that I could stamp it better. I think that's just what it does. What's the picture say? The picture says the 3 at the top and then this one down below. That's what I did. It's just being abstract. And another thing is I think I should have stamped it with the color first and then put the powder over the top. But it seems to be working okay. I probably shouldn't lead on how I'm challenged with abstract. Okay, let me try this one. Some people love it. Like I know Diane Bounds, she loves abstract. So much, there was another set, and she just loved it because of how abstract it is. She says it's kind of like really whimsy, and you could do, it's almost impossible to go wrong with it. So I understand that. So I'm trying to embrace that. Diane, this is for you. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on abstract. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Because I love it. Okay, there it is stamped. And like I said, it probably would have been better if it was stamped first. Then there wouldn't be these white areas next to the heat embossed area. That's one-upping abstract. That's even more abstract. Yeah. I could do it on the inside the right way. I'll do that. Okay, so now that we have this, I kind of want to use just these. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, it'll be like that. Then, I really like these. Especially when they're a puzzle. Get those pieces unlocked. Okay, so it's going to stay like that. Let me put these in using dimensionals. And more dimensionals. And then little ones. So in late August, as in a few weeks away, I am going to a Stampin' Up! Event. The first in-person one since COVID. It's in New Orleans. It's going to be so fun. But I had to do some swaps. I think I mentioned it before, but I'm taking Tony with me. So I want to do some swaps for him. Otherwise, he'll just be standing there saying, okay, are you done? I don't know what he doesn't know what he's in for. In a good way, I say that. because I'm going to do the beer set for him. But I have to get them done. I mean, it's coming up. So I decided on a few designs, and I took paper to our local print shop, and they're cutting the paper for my swaps. I said to him, I said, if you're going to be charging me like $80 to cut paper, this paper right here, here's the sizes I want it cut. I said, I'm not going to do it. They're like, oh no, it won't be that much. I think he said like 50 cents a cut. I'm like, oh, okay. But then I looked at the paper, and some of them have like 3 cuts going across and then 4 cuts going down. That's going to add up quick. But because I'm over there all the time, I'm hoping that it's not that much, I hope. Okay, so let's put some of these white ones in. I kind of want them in the background though. And you know how I have the picture on my phone? I'm not doing what the picture says to do. When applying liquid glue over any type of foil paper, just be careful. Because if you get the glue onto the foil, and like you smear it, you could see it when it dries. So I'm putting liquid glue on here, but I know that's where I want it, and that's where it's going to stay. Just be a little bit careful. Okay, I'll stick that down more in just a minute. And I think I have one more of these. How about right there? It's getting a little crazy, a little busy, huh? How about underneath a little bit? So some of these samples are really easy, and other ones are getting a little bit busy. Okay, that's good. My glue is bubbling out of the spout. Probably because it's been a while since I've used it. So if ever it bubbles out, like it starts, I'll show you. If I leave it for a minute, it's going to start coming out all on its own. If ever that happens to you, here's our experiment. It's going to start coming out. If ever that happens, the way to fix it, tell it to stop doing it again, is take the lid off, let the bubble come out, then it should stop doing that. Okay, so that's it. That's okay. These will go on the inside somehow. And once you sparkle it, this one I'm trying to calm it down because it's a little crazy. I'm going to use pearls. So on some of them I used iridescent rhinestones. Some of them I used the champagne rhinestones. I love them. They're perfect with this paper. But this one is getting pearls just because it's a little crazy. And then crinkle white seam binding double bow. And again, I'm putting white on it, trying to calm it down a little. I know I put too much stuff on it. If I would have stuck to my picture, it wouldn't have been so busy. But that could go right about here. And I'll make these a little bit shorter than they are. Well, I can't really see the words. Maybe this could go to the side. That's better. And then, sometimes my glue dots don't hold, so just a hint of liquid glue underneath. Okay, so outside is done. Here, I'll hold it up. that pretty? Okay, so for the inside, I want to do heat embossing. Let's celebrate. What are we celebrating? Much love in your new life together. Okay, so that's going to go into Versamark after I do my embossing buddy. Okay, so the embossing buddy is in the new catalog, the mini catalog, with a tray and a couple of brushes. So if you've been looking for one, this is time to get it before the catalog goes away. Speaking of things going away, we have a little bit more time with Celebration. I've got these already done. We have until the end of August. So, just a few more weeks. So if there's been things you want, or if you're ready to make your Christmas cards, this is the time to get the stuff. And I need sales. So much, I might be able to go on a trip. People have asked me over and over, oh, Stampin' Up, do you get to go on the trip those people do? And I always say, no, I'm just a little people. I stamp that crooked. And I'm going to wipe it on my pants. Oh, and they're white too. I say, no, I'm not one of those bigwig people. I'm just a little stamper. Anyhow, this year I had a few new recruits, and that made it, and then they stuck with it. Sometimes people are new recruits and then they end up dropping, but 3 of them, they stuck with it, and Stampin' Up gave me points. And I looked at the report a few, probably maybe 2 months ago, 6 weeks ago. I'm like, is that me? And I called Stampin' Up and I said, is there really a possibility? They're like, yeah, you're on your way. And it's Celebration. I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyhow, so I have until September to get more points. Sales. I don't think I'd get recruits between now and then, but that's always good too. Anyhow, I'm very excited. And I don't say that as in because some people are very boastful. I'm not like that. I'm just happy. I'm just really happy that I mysteriously got there after 24 years. Okay, that looks good. Yep, I have granules all over. So now these are going to go, can't go in the middle. How about over here? Okay, I need a pot. Here's a little pot. Okay, so I'll have dimensionals on the inside. Usually I try not to do that, but the pot wants dimensionals. And then these can tuck in here. I wonder if it could be like laying down. Like it's kind of like ivy. Now, the other one is up, so this one needs to stay up. But that wouldn't be bad, huh? Like if it was tucked underneath here and just kind of creeping out back behind it. Maybe just this one. That one is, that's not big enough. Okay, just like that. Right there. Here. And I could put a little bit of glue. Now it's in the way of my words. Okay, it has to tuck in further. Okay, maybe. Okay. Off with part of it. Sometimes things just aren't easy. There it goes. Okay, that looks good. You can still read it. Okay. So that goes on the inside. And I think we're almost done. I was trying to keep this card simple. Lately for class, I've been making them, I keep promising simple, and then I make them hard. Well, not really hard. They just have steps, or they look kind of fancy, and I'm trying to keep it simple. And because I heat embossed this, it's a little bit warped. Therefore, it gets glue today. Glue. Doesn't that look good? So copper is going on everything. What do you think? Doesn't that look nice? Okay, besides it being warped. The glue is going to hold it in place. Okay, so that is today's project. Thank you for tuning in and watching. And I hope you have a great weekend. Okay, that's it. Till next time, take care. Bye.